A shout out to my sponsor. Just
Are they
kidding.
really?
Nah, I wish.
I saw you had
I need a wine sponsor.
Espolón.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
you have like a collab with them?
we did that. That was cool.
You drink a lot of wine these days?
That's if it's not wine, then it's tequila. But I try to when I want to be mellow, then yeah, wine.
And some grown shit.
Yeah. Who does all your video editing?
I do it myself,
You
bro.
do everything
I had to
yourself?
teach it. Yeah, I had to like learn it all myself for user friendly. So user friendly, we're at like 74 episodes. But shit, if anyone's listening and wants to do my editing, feel free because I need some more time.
Hell yeah. I know people do it. It just depends if they're trying to tax you or not.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. It sucks because you never want to pay somebody to do something that you know how to do. It's like, I might as well just do it myself. But time is important.
Time, and then it's not even that. It's just like when I did it, like I love doing it and everything. But bro, we're just losing money. You know, because you do this for the love. Like, we ain't getting huge sponsors. Ain't nobody paying us for our time.
That's true.
At least when I did it, didn't pay the video guy, pay audio, pay.
But there was a moment where you were doing it by yourself.
When I first did it by myself, it was horrible. It's like, and that's how I messed up. It's like once you start something, and you're like, "Yo, this is my brand new thing. Come look." Everybody's gonna come look, and then if it's bad, like horrible quality, people aren't gonna come back. Like, yo, that was So it went from like everyone excited, and then it'd be like, and then like maybe 10 episodes later, people started like catching on because the quality got a lot better and conversations got better. So
that's interesting because I've had like mixed feedback where some people will say like the content is more important than the quality because like the content of the conversation.
Yeah.
Or, sometimes you see a lot of recycled videos like on social media.
Yeah.
And it'll be like you could tell it was screen recorded like 4 times.
Yeah.
And the pixels are so pixely, but the content, it's still like popular. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
like people tune in just because you're SENTROCK, I think. But also, it would be nice. Like we as artists would enjoy an artistic or a higher quality video.
Yeah.
But
well, not even video, just the audio. Even like you just want to be able to listen to it without it like sounding like you're listening through like a a beer can or something. Yeah, that's how it was for me. It took me forever to figure it out. You had a lot of
big names at first. I think you had like Runzi, like Haley, and all those like.
Did Runzi do it?
I thought I seen a YouTube video, or maybe just Haley. Stitch God.
Yeah. See, and the thing is, those are like the homies, and it's like I had dope access to like amazing creatives out here, and it's like I just wish I had the. I wish I had the. I don't know. Yeah, the
catalog.
Yeah, the experience to like keep it going.
Yeah, but like you said, you need a team.
Yeah,
I feel like that is the next step for us for sure. Because I can't keep doing this shit forever. Yeah. I would love for somebody to produce my shit. But yeah, let's get it started. 3, 2, 1. What's cracking, fools? You know who it is. It's your boy Paz Prince. I'm joined by one of the biggest artists in Chicago. He's a painter, studio owner, muralist. I've probably seen like 3 murals on the way here. One of my biggest inspirations for sure. And father. What else can we say, man? Let's give it up for SENTROCK.
Man, thank you, bro. Nah, it's an honor to be here. You're like, bro, you wanna cancel? It's like 110 degrees today.
Bro, it's
and I was like, bro, we don't do it today. I don't know when we do it, So
no, thank you. I feel like sometimes you just got to do it because if we would have rescheduled, then our lives are so busy.
Then we got to keep rescheduling.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So thank you for coming. We're going to make it work.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And I hope it like, it snowballs, more artists, more creatives, more people tap in with you, because I feel like we don't know each other personally. We don't hang out, but it's like I respect what you do. I've been seeing what you've been doing for a long time. Like you said, you've seen my work. So it's just a mutual respect coming together.
Yeah. Because up to this point, this is episode 18. All my other guests have been somebody that I've been personally had a relationship with, or they were in my life, and I kind of like I had my grandma and my son on, like I told you. It's just like more personal. And some people don't want to get too personal, especially like as an artist. I feel like sometimes they want to separate the art from their personal life. But
yeah,
it's my story, I feel like, and yeah, so we're learning about each other and stuff.
Yeah, I think in this age, you know, as authentic and genuine to your life story, you know, you can be is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to separate the art from the artist nowadays.
Yeah, social media,
and just people want to know who, like, all right, who are you? Like, what are you really about? You know? Yeah.
Damn. So, who are you? Like, who? What was like your like childhood like and stuff? I know you're from Phoenix. I know very generic.
Yeah. Shout out to the listeners.
Yeah.
Stick with us. Let's get through this part. Because I feel like people that know me, you know, they've heard this.
They've heard it
100 times. Yeah.
But my audience.
Yeah, your audience. Yeah. So stick with us. Yeah, born and raised West Phoenix.
Damn.
Yeah, I was born out there and got into art as a kid, basically. Like in, you know, elementary school, muralist came to my school, and from there I was just like, yo, this is amazing. I love this. Whatever
From elementary school?
Elementary school. Because I remember like clearly just being inspired, like
crazy.
Like, damn, this is dope. Like the whole experience. So I always held on to that, whatever that, like the idea of creating art. I've always held on to that. And then even when I got into high school, then that's when I got into graffiti, because that was like the most accessible form of doing art. You know, it's like specifically me and one of my homies. I remember we went into his backyard. We're chilling, whatever we're doing, running around. And I remember walking into his backyard, and the whole backyard just tagged up crazy. And I was just like, oh my God, like, why does your backyard look like this? And then because his older brother did graffiti, and he would, you know, and then I remember just being like, yo, let's do this. Like, and then so I remember we just grabbed markers, found like one random spray can type of thing, and just ran around doing, that was like, we were like 8th grade, going to freshman year, breaking into our old schools and like tagging on our old schools, thinking like, I don't know, you know, trying to do whatever. And then just from there, just, you know, little by little, you understand the culture more, you develop more what you want to say and what you want to do.
That's like the perfect age to do shenanigans, because you can't really get arrested. It's like,
yeah, you can't really get arrested.
You go to jail.
They threaten you with like jail, and you're just like, all right, I don't care. They threaten you like, we're gonna call your mom, and then it's like, oh my God, my whole world is over.
Yeah.
Like, shit. Like,
bro, literally, I remember
do not have my mom come to this school right now.
I used to go to like abandoned houses just to smoke with my friends on some dumb shit, and someone called the cops on us. We ran out the back, and we got arrested, and they're like, we're gonna call your mom. I was crying. I was like, no, like, not my mom.
Yeah, I remember the first time I kind of got in trouble for graffiti. It was at school. Somebody snitched on me, and I was just like, bro, what? Like, I had to be in the security office or the principal's office, and they're like, you're in trouble, we're gonna call the cops, da-da-da. And I was just like, bro, all right, like, whatever, like, I don't care. Like, do what you gotta do. I don't care. I ain't do nothing, da-da-da. And then they're like, all right, well, I'm calling your mom now. And I was like, oh my God, don't call my mom. I was like, I'll do whatever. And they wound up giving me like community service, like working at the school or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not that bad. But they didn't end up calling her? Or they
No, they definitely still call my mom. Like, yo, your son's suspended for 10 days and he has to do community service.
So how was that with like your parents as far as developing your career? Were they like supportive of it, or like is this like a typical immigrant family?
Nah, well, my parents are born here. They're both born in Arizona.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'm second generation, and my mom was just, I think the environment that we grew up in and how my mom was and my pops is they kind of grew up in the streets too, and so I think. And I was always getting in trouble, like since 4th grade, always in trouble, always in principal's office, always getting sent home, always, you know, they would always call my mom. Like, everybody knew my mom at the school because she was always having to pull up there. And so I think by this time, by high school, my mom just seeing me like passionate about something or like wanting to do something positive. Like, it wasn't positive. Like, it was art, but it was still like getting in trouble because graffiti. So I think she was just like, obviously she was mad at me getting in trouble and sneaking out and stuff like that. But I think she was just more like, all right, well, you're not out here like gang banging. You're not here trying to like be on like, you know, super grimy. Like, all right, like, yeah, like do this. Like, okay. Here's some cans. Like, practice in the backyard on some boards. Like stuff like that. I feel like my mom always tried to like help me find a way because that was our environment. Like a lot of my family, you know, street life. So for that, it's like when you experience like real street life, graffiti is like, oh, that's a day at the playground, you know? So I think my mom was just like, all right, if that's what you want to do it. Like, you know, so, you know, I really got to like, you know, credit my mom for kind of, you know, embracing me, allowing me to create my art and stuff.
That's fire. Because from my perspective, my parents are first generation. I came here with them when I was 5. So I was born in Colombia, came here when I was 5. My parents never experienced any of that. So they thought I was the worst child, like just in the streets. Like they thought they were losing their child into the bad life. But then slowly they understood, and now my parents are pretty supportive with what I do.
That's dope, man.
It's like 2 whole different lifestyles, I guess. Like,
yeah, bro. It's so crazy seeing from one generation to the next of like, because my grandfather, I lived with him for a lot of years, and his work ethic was crazy, and his mindset was just so like, this is how we do things, this is what you do, and that's all there is to it. And he I know he's a super creative dude, but I just don't think he was ever allowed to even explore that side of his brain to be creative.
Yeah.
And then you know, my mom running around the streets, my pop, same thing. And then it's like, you know, those generations, we like, you forget like the importance of like, I guess like that work ethic, or just like, you know, us, we're like, oh, we want to make art. Like we want to hang out and do podcasts and chill with our homies. Like, you know, cause I don't know.
Has he ever tried to create anything, or how do you know he's creative? Your grandfather?
Oh, he creates all kinds of things, bro. Like if you go to his house is just filled with like all this crazy like Native American indigenous art that he finds like at random yard sales and stuff.
It's like curating a whole
it's crazy. And then he goes out like hunting and camping and stuff, and then he'll come back with like bones and like glue all these like random bones together, or he like, I don't know, bro. It's like old, like just this old man's house with all these random like knickknacks all over. And he did concrete for a long time. He worked the fields, and then after the fields, he went into concrete, like construction work. And so he has a lot of like handmade construction or cement, like like cement
pieces.
That he created himself. I'm like, bro, this is sick. Like this is art. I was like, why don't you do this?
It makes you
want
to do like an Instagram for them.
Yeah,
that's how my grandma was like. You need to put your crochet on Instagram.
Yeah, and people will support it, but he's just like, nah, he don't get it. You know, he's like, he's like, oh, I'm just, you know, fucking around. Who cares? Like, cool. You know,
But you could tell like that's probably where it comes from. Like for you, like it probably like he, I don't know, like created. Like I feel like I got my drawing skills from my dad, and even though my dad never probably felt like he was able to pursue that, every time that he would draw me like a little dog, or he was good at it, like he was good at it, and I was like, but he was more focused on the math. Like when he would help me with like math homework and shit, he would draw like little things off to the side, and I was like, I was more interested in the little drawings than I was the actual homework. But I think it is genetic. So you are a father, right?
I'm a father. My son's about to be 2 in September.
How does that translate? Like, do you feel like you're gonna be like how your parents are, like pretty supportive, or?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm gonna be super supportive, but it's like I'm still trying to learn how to not be that dad that's just like, do whatever you want. Right. You want ice cream for breakfast? Yeah, like sure, why not? You know, I'm trying to figure out like, all right, how do I just love him unconditionally and give him what I feel he wants, but still be responsible in the sense of like, because I feel like I would be the dad that's like, oh, you want to go out and go do graffiti? Like, here's some paint, like go crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, hold on, I gotta be responsible. Like,
You got to do it like in a controlled environment.
Yeah,
like,
I'm still trying to figure out that sense of like, like I know things doesn't have to be like super black and white. It's like, all right, how do I be responsible, love him? But I mean, he's about to be 2, so I think that's later down the road. But I'm still trying to figure that stuff. Like, what type of,
because he's still trying to figure out like right from wrong. With my son, he's 6, so he has a little more understanding of like what's right and wrong. And then
and what he likes or what he doesn't like. Yeah,
and he'll tell me. We'll just have deep ass conversations about life, and
that's dope.
And I think that comes around like 4 or 5. Because like toddler,
I'm looking forward to that. Like just having a conversation with him.
When he's able to tell you what he thinks about the world and just life, death, and like all that shit. But yeah, I mean, it's a balance for sure. Because you don't want to be a strict ass dad.
Yeah, I feel like like you said, balance. Like I don't want to be super strict, and then I don't want to be so just unstrict. Like just do whatever you want. Like because I feel like that's also a form of like, if you really loved me, why'd you wouldn't have let me just do certain things. Like I feel like sometimes trying to find that balance is gonna be tough for sure. Yeah,
I don't think there's enough like dad podcasts. Like I feel like I had to learn this shit on my own. I didn't like know from experience. But like you said, I think we as fathers just need to like allow them to make mistakes, and then if they get hurt,
well, like we were talking about before we started, is like you see everybody on social media just being the most amazing like superhero dad. They have everything figured out. Their kid loves them 24/7, which is it's just not true. Like we have days that we feel like we're the best dad in the world, and then we have days we feel like, bro, I am the worst dad. This kid does not even love me. Like
especially when you're enjoying like your life without him. Like, I don't like every time I do anything as far as like show related or art related, I'm like, damn, like I should have just brought him. Why didn't I bring him? And then just like enjoying anything makes me feel guilty. And I don't know. I want to break that boundary, I guess. Like I like bring him to the shows. I like bring him to like I brought him to your event that one time for Ramiro.
It's about balance too.
But there's also places you can't be at because there's like smoking and like a whole bunch of like not like
right. And you don't want to bring even if you do bring them, it's like, yo, is that really the best environment to be? I think about that too. Like sometimes I bring him like, oh, he's one of the homies. He come chilling with us. But then I'm like, yo, I probably shouldn't have him outside on this street, on this corner, this time, like. But yeah, I think there should definitely be more conversations with dads, like, and just be honest of like, sometimes some of us have it figured out. But even if we have it figured out what we want to do, we still struggle. It's still a daily struggle, Because I think about times, just the generations before us, of like dads that just weren't around, or like you hear stories of like, oh, my dad had 10 kids and he was only there. He wasn't there for any of them. Like
they left to get milk and
bro, those stories are so wild to me. It's like, bro, what? Like, as a man, how do you even do that? But it's like, whatever that was that triggered that person to do that, like that's still a part of human nature. There's there's people right now, there's dads right now that haven't seen their kid for years or weeks or months or whatever, and it's like, like there's people that still struggle with like, and there's kids that still struggle with not seeing their fathers.
It's crazy when they use that as a reason. I mean, I guess I've only seen it on TV, but they'll be like, oh, this is what pushed you to be so successful. You know what I mean? Like
that their dad wasn't there?
That their dad wasn't there. Like they did it on purpose, but they didn't. Like they didn't do it for you. They did it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I heard recently is like you're it's only hard parenting when you care. So I think like we have a hard time.
That's real.
Because we want to be a good father.
We're thinking about it. But, like, are we doing something wrong? Are we messing up? Can we do this better? Yeah.
Right. So when the people say that, oh, parenting is easy. I just don't think they're parenting hard enough. Like, I just feel like, because it's not easy. It's hard.
Well, we just lost like 90% of the listeners right now.
Wait,
this is a very target. This is a very
the dads.
Yeah, this is
fathers.
This is for the fathers episode, right? Or soon to be dads, yo.
Damn, how do we get them back?
Yeah. Nah, we just doubling down.
Yeah.
If you with us, you with us. This is for y'all. This is for the dads out there.
Yeah.
This is for the
fathers, bro.
Yeah. We doubling down. This is for y'all. For the creatives that have kids. Because there's a lot of us out there, bro. Especially during the pandemic. You know how many people had babies? Like,
there's
insane,
nothing to do,
bro.
Just have a baby.
It's like, oh, the world's gonna end. Let's bring another life into this world.
That's a whole different tangent, because it's like, damn, do you want to bring a kid into this crazy world?
Bro, it's nuts, man.
But yeah, I'm all about procreating shit. I want one more. I'm about to have my second.
Are you?
Yeah,
okay,
literally, we're days away.
Like, bro, that's amazing.
My baby's due on the 11th of September.
Like you just announced it too.
It feels like that. But she's been pregnant for 9 months, so I don't know. My household is full of like diapers and baby shower gifts.
Getting ready.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, because
you feel more prepared this time. Like,
yeah,
you know what you want to do different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like watching so many videos. We took a mommy and dad class, or I don't know, what do you call it? Like a laboring class.
Yeah.
Like what to do when you're in the laboring room.
Yeah.
So I feel prepared and I'm ready. And my girl was like, "We're not ready at all." Like, I just feel like I want to get past like when they're. I mean, no, I can't even say that, because I do love when they're a baby, but I feel like past toddler it gets a lot easier, because I know those sleepless
bro,
nights.
I'm in the trenches right now.
Like those terrible twos and stuff.
Yeah,
it's probably like. But no, the worst. I'm not gonna say the worst, but like the toughest is those newborn days, because the sleepless nights.
Oh, you ain't sleep. I think people don't realize. I remember still having to like function and do. I was still trying to be as
SENTROCK.
as I was, foot down on the pedal, 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And then still trying to do like, I had a baby, I could still do this. Like, I'm still, and it's like, bro, like,
I didn't want it to stop me.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like a superpower. But it's tough. It's like
you have to like, all right, I need to take a step back.
Crazy.
And you got to be okay with that,
Mm-hmm. So like around this time when you had your baby, was this the Elmhurst art exhibit, or when it first originated, or was that last year?
No, that was in September. Which is a year ago, so that he would have already been about 1 or turning 1.
But like even then, you started to get, or like the concept like originated around the time, right? So you were still working.
And then I had a solo show in between that, and then
locally, or
no, that was in LA. Still working, still having to pay the bills, and when you work for yourself, you don't have no. All right, I'm gonna take a month off and get paid for it, or I have to. It's like, no, I got to get right back to it.
Yeah.
Keep working. Opportunities. Don't care if you just had a baby. They're like, yo, we got this project. You want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn. I haven't. My email's been dry this month, so yeah, let's take it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think.
How do you balance that? Because I guess just like being a father and working.
The only way I balance it now, 2 years later, figuring it out, is that you're in a marathon with your child. You're trying to see the bigger. You're not in the rat race no more. I ain't trying to keep up with some of these young dudes that are trying to like, bro, that's all you. Like my life's different now. I'm in a marathon for like figuring out the long term. And I think that was the biggest thing. Yeah, exactly, the legacy. Right. I'm not. So, because I think before I felt like so much of a rat race, like competing with who's this, who's doing that, and let me try to do this. Yeah, let me do everything. If an email comes my way, I'm gonna respond and figure out how to. Yeah, we'll do that. And I think, trying to do all that stuff and still stay busy and not lose what you've created with your work. You're so afraid of losing it. But that's all I don't want to say a myth, but it's all just smoke and mirrors. Like, you lose it, you're still who you are. You're still you. I'm still me. Like, and I had to learn that, the last, couple years, that, it's okay. Like, you'll pick it back up when the time's right. I talked to, a lot of creators that had kids, and they'll be like, yo, when my son was 1 to 3, 0 to 3, like, I didn't have a career, as far as, like, that wasn't their priority, and I'm learning to be okay with, like, all right, I'm gonna be real selective with what I do right now.
Yeah.
And then I tell people that, they're like, no, you still look super busy. And it's like, yo, it's just the way that I, like,
you set it up.
Yeah, set it up,
From my perspective, I couldn't have like, I thought this whole time you've still had, like, your foot on the gas, but the more that you speak about it now, I'm like, damn, I did kind of stop, because my son was born in 2017, and I feel like I took, like, I wasn't really back into it till 2019. So it's just crazy, because those first years are pivotal for that baby.
Bro, so like, pivotal. And I think it's pivotal of you trying to be there for your partner, be there for your child. And I think one thing we forget is being there for ourselves, like,
you change as a person. Like, becoming a father, you transform.
Yeah, because you don't realize your brain is going through all these different changes, It's like, all right, you got to remember to be there for yourself too. Like, whatever, I don't know, how that looks for different people. And I think that's a big reason that a lot of, we hear stories of dads that weren't around for these kids. It's because I don't think they knew how to take care of their own mental health, you know? Yeah. Like, bro, you deserve to be happy too. Like, find your happiness with, while being responsible for what you have to do.
Yeah.
So, and I think for us, it's like, we feel like, yo, of course I'm gonna be there for my kid, because we still do what we love to do. We found our North Star, so to speak, we found our direction, our moral compass.
Yeah. And I think it's important to not lose that creativity or that work ethic, because your kid's going to grow up. Your kid's going to be 18 one day, and he's not going to care about wanting, like, he's going to love you and stuff, but he's got his world. So you still got to make sure you got your world. Yeah. When he does leave, even though it's going to be wild. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
But
I hope he's one of those kids that don't live in my shadows, Like, bro, do you? Like,
you don't want him to be an artist?
In a way, I don't want him to be an artist.
Yeah. That's
I'm like, nah, go find something else, bro. Like, go,
might be
obviously I'm going to embrace him if and try to school him, but I really want him to find himself.
Would you want him to pursue, like, a regular life, like a doctorate, or like
honestly, yeah.
Yeah? Damn.
I felt like this lifestyle, bro, is so... It's so taxing, it's like mentally, volatile, bro.
You never know.
Yeah, it's so taxing mentally that I'm like, bro, if you're happy and content with being, certain professions, then do that. I feel like for me, I would never be happy being that. This was plan A through Z.
Yeah.
So this is the only thing that I was gonna wind up doing.
Is it because you were so good at it, or because?
No, I don't even feel like I'm that good at it. Like, honestly, I really don't. Like, I don't feel like I could probably name you in this city alone, like 50 artists that I'm like, yo, they are way more raw than me.
What do you think sets you apart then?
I think what sets me apart is just who I am as a person. Like, the message is so powerful, more powerful. And the impact of what I do as a person is more powerful than the technique or the skills.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to always work on my technique and skills to share my message, but I feel like my message is what resonates with most people.
And the work ethic.
Yeah, and the work ethic.
It's like how consistent.
And the drive and the goals of, like, me saying, like, this is my plan A through Z. Like, I'm gonna make sure people see my art. It's like, even if, like I said, I take my foot off the pedal a little bit and chill out, like, I'm always gonna still stay on task.
Yeah. That's how I like to. I've said this exact same thing. Just kind of like, I set it up so that even if I lose, I win. I feel like.
Oh, I've took many L's, and then it's like, with the L's, you just pretend like they weren't there. You just highlight the wins.
Damn. So this is the Proud Disappointment Podcast, PDP. I always ask my guests, like,
what is
what
it?
do you Proud Disappointment Podcast?
Proud is that? Honestly, I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Called.
So this is the
PD.
I call it the PDP. Yeah.
Okay.
So Pops Prince is like my artist name. And then real first time meeting each other. But this is like
I feel like you have like 3 podcasts.
I do. So I got user friendly. No, I just got 2. User friendly and then PDP. I would love to have more. Like I want to have a whole roster of
which one was
which
one was Tony Main on?
This one? Yeah,
this
the
one?
PDP. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know Tony?
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Tony's a good dude, bro.
Yeah. He has a similar story where he's not really like from
he's from Colorado?
He's from Colorado, right?
Is he? No, I think he just goes to school in Colorado.
Okay. Well, he lives in Colorado.
Yeah, now he does. I think he's going to school, right?
Shout out Tony. Where was I getting at? Oh, so while you're at it, like if you could tell me something you're disappointed in and then something that you're proud of. That's something that I always ask.
Something that I'm proud of and something I'm disappointed of?
Yeah, you were kind of like leaning towards like something that you're disappointed in.
Oh
and then we can bring it back up.
I mean, I'm disappointed in a million things.
Just name one. It doesn't have to be two.
All right. One thing.
It could be like the world.
In myself or in life?
Anything. Anybody.
Anything disappointed? I don't know, but I feel like that's just going to send me down a very dark hole. The things that I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed. I'm trying to think what I could be disappointed in. I mean, I know things, but
usually what people say that they're like proud of is the same. Like they'll say, I'm proud of something, but they're disappointed in the same thing. Like it's because of the disappointment that makes them proud.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
That sounds some like psychological stuff.
So I just wonder, like, what's yours? Because
I think a big part. Okay.
Yeah.
If we want to get somewhat deep, I'm proud of like where I'm come from. You know, West Phoenix, moving out here 10 years, 12 years ago, whatever it was, 10, 12 years ago. And then really being able to like invest in this community, in this city, loving me and embracing me. And then me being able to like do what I'm doing with my art right now. But then I guess in a sense I'm disappointed because like, damn, like I wish I was able to do that in the land that I was.
No, see, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
I think about it all the time, you know, like, damn, I'm going to go back and try to give back. And it's like, I go back and I'm like, oh, like, who do I think I am? Like,
crazy.
I can't do anything. Like,
no way.
I'm an artist, you know. So
what is it about Chicago that made you come over here?
Bro, do you want some of this wine?
Yeah,
I feel like I've been killing this bottle myself, and I feel crazy doing it.
Like out of all places, why did you come to Chicago, or how did that?
Well, the short story is I enrolled at Columbia, and then I started going in Columbia, for art and design was my degree.
Because Columbia is such a great art school or something.
No,
I don't know what the state of college.
I came out here to visit. So there was this lady that lived out here. She was somewhat of a mentor to me. She moved out of her family. She was getting a doctorate degree. Her name's Melissa.
Shout out Melissa.
Yeah, shout out Melissa. She was doing a doctorate degree. She did a lot of like community work. And when she lived in Phoenix, she was one of these ladies. I don't know if you ever experienced these people, like, you know, the movies of like Blind Side and like
Freedom Riders.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like the white lady that was in the hood. Yo, shout out the white ladies in the hood. That'd be like, you know, just loving people in the hood.
Yeah.
And I felt like she was one of these ladies that would like always show love to me and my homies. And she would, you know, just a genuine dude. Her and her family, her husband, her daughters were just cool people. And then I remember she was out here getting her doctorate's degree. And she was like, yo, I think you'll really like Chicago. Like, there's hella murals. Pilsen is insane. Like, Little Village. She's like, you should come out here, stay with my family for a few days.
Literally blindsided.
Bro, it was crazy. So I came out here. They let me stay with them for, you know, a little bit. And I got to, like, see the city. And that's when I enrolled at Columbia. I enrolled at SAC. SAC was way too expensive and just way too conceptual for me to even, like, grasp, like, that world. I was just like, nah, I'm gonna go to Columbia. So I enrolled in Columbia and I just, you know, moved out here, started doing that, and, you know, just started doing my own thing out here. And
that was the origin story.
Yeah, that's the origin how I moved out here. And then just started doing work, painting, and then people started noticing me. Galleries started wanting to work with me. Me just getting more projects, and then little by little building my name. And then it was all love until it turned into all hate. I don't get it, bro.
In Chicago?
Nah, I'm playing. It was all love. Yeah.
I don't know. I've only heard good things about you. Do you feel like Phoenix wasn't showing you a lot of love when you left?
No, I had hella love. I was born and raised there.
Yeah.
I was born on the west side. I was born, in the hood, like a real hood baby, real west side baby.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were thorough. My pops, all my family from the neighborhood. Like the neighborhood I grew up, I could go to any corner, any block, and I had people. But I think that was the problem. It was too easy. Like, damn, this is all. You know what I mean? This is everything. Like, no, I need to get away. I need something different. I needed an escape, and that's why I came to Chicago. I needed to feel like I was nobody. So when I went to Columbia, I remember riding the train downtown and just being so lost in downtown, and just feeling like, damn, like, all right, now this is that flame under me that I need to like make a name for myself.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you did that on purpose. You felt like.
Yeah, because it's like, I remember I was living with my grandfather, and I was just doing my thing. Like I had, it was cool. I was doing my thing, but it's like, I just knew there was something more for me. Like, nah, I remember seeing people that I looked up to, artists specifically, and just being like, all right, that's dope, but if that's the highest, if this is the number one artist in this city, like, nah, like that ain't it, bro. Like I need and Chicago is an amazing city. It's a big city, a hustle and bustle, a city that grinds and has a little bit of that hood. Everybody in Chicago has a little bit of hood in them, and that's what I like,
How long ago was that? That was
2012, I think.
11 years.
About 11, yeah.
Wow.
And then I moved out here, and I was just, what's the old saying? Wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, running around, putting my stickers up, tagging on little things here and there, and then getting little gigs here and there. And I remember my first year printing out all my little paintings I did, walking around to every gallery. Yo, look at my portfolio. What do you think? You want to show me? Like going to like galleries that at the time, looking back now, like they would never show my art. And even my art 12 years ago was so like, it was rough, dude. And it was like, like I would still just go around and be like, yo, I'm hungry. Like I want, like, yo, let's do something.
None of them like worked?
Only one gallery worked, and it was called Elephant Room. Shout out to Kim. She still has her same gallery on Wabash, which was literally like 1 block away from my school, from Columbia. She gave me a chance. She's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's set up a studio visit. Let me stop by. And at the time I was painting at the apartment I was living in, I was painting out of the basement. And it was like not a apartment basement. It was like an actual like storage basement, like grimy spider webs everywhere, like one little light, water puddles, And she came and she was like looking back, she's probably like, yo, where did this dude take me? But she gave me a chance, and then that show, I remember from that show, like everything took off after that.
That was like your debut.
That was my debut, yeah.
That's fire. And
I wasn't even really doing, like I was doing all kinds of different like imagery, like different animals, and I called the show Alter Egos. And I remember I think I only did like 1 or 2 pieces, like 1 or 2 paintings that had the like a bird mask, and it wasn't even what it looks like today.
So what made you realize like I'm gonna make a whole art exhibit out of this?
It wasn't even that thought process. The thought process was, it started off just let me create art or a concept that people understand what I'm trying to like say and communicate and resonate with. And then over time, I'm like thinking like, all right, how can people are resonating with this, but how can I create it to where it becomes something bigger than just an idea? Because I could have kept switching up the idea, I could have kept doing different versions of it, and but I was like, nah, let me try to make it specific. Like this is what I do.
Interesting.
And yeah, I guess just over time, bro.
Because it's not. It took me a while to realize that it was a mask. Right?
Yeah.
Because you could put it on different. Like you put it on a mom and a daughter. I feel like.
Yeah, I put on a daughter. Yeah, I put on different
things.
So yeah,
it's not a typical.
The symbol of that red mask is more of like what my art symbolizes, as opposed to like the overall figure. You know.
Yeah.
I think the last time I did the overall figure was the show at the Elmhurst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to that with my son.
I saw you tagged me in that. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's dope.
Girlfriend. It was fire, and I just want to say props because it was an amazing show.
Thank you, bro.
And it's so crazy because prior to that, so my son, when he was a newborn, he was still in a stroller. I went to the Hebrew Bradley Elmhurst one.
Dope.
So then it was kind of like full circle moment. My son's older, like he's at the same museum, but it's you. And you know me, I'm just thinking like, damn, I can't wait to have my exhibit there. So
hell yeah, it's coming, bro.
To have you on the podcast is like a big deal, but it's also crazy, just like the theme of flying, because that's Hebrew Bradley's pretty, like it's pretty similar, but yours is with the bird. And
he's like fly boy, mine's like the bird. Yeah.
Do you find yourself like comparing yourself to artists like that, or not really?
Yeah, you it's by default. You know what I mean? It's like if you start rapping now, people are gonna compare you to like Tupac or compare you to like whoever's big. And I remember when I first moved out here, I remember people would compare me to him so much. And I was just like, bro, like that's cool. I love his art. His art has inspired, in a sense, one way or another, inspired everybody in this city,
For sure. Yeah.
Bro, what he's done and how he's raised the bar so high. Shout out to Hebrew. I doubt he's gonna listen, but shout out to Hebrew because he raised the bar high for Chicago, bro. Like, and so I remember people comparing me at shows, and I remember somebody talking to me, not at a show and not realizing that I was the artist that they were talking about, and they were like, "Yeah, stuff's cool, but it's like a wannabe Hebrew."
Damn.
And I was just like damn, which kind of made me feel salty, but in a way I was like, all right, maybe that's a compliment. But I just
it's like
knew,
a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, and I just knew like at the end of the day, like I know what my story is. I know what I represent. I know what I'm about. And
everybody's like a wannabe. Like if you want to be an artist, then
for sure, bro. Like we're all inspired by somebody. Like I tell people all the time, in 500 years from now, historians are gonna look at this era and be like, oh, they all look the same. You look back at art from 1,000 years ago, all that art looked the same. The Renaissance era, the whatever era it was, they all look the same, even if they weren't trying to be. That's just because everyone was so influenced by each other, and that was just the context of that dialogue.
Knowing that though, do you try to like push like that boundary or that line, or what do you mean as far as like everybody's art look the same? You wouldn't want to try to make something that doesn't. Or are you saying
we're subject to our
environment?
Yeah, okay. We're products of our environment, bro. Even if you try to do something crazy out of the box and different, it's not gonna be a part of the overall dialogue. You aren't gonna be a part of that conversation. What's happening right now in the art world or even the local art world. So yeah, we all create our art and we all try to like conversate with each other without acting like we do, but it's all a conversation.
Yeah.
The art you create, your character is conversating with mine in a way, You're talking to your people and it's talking in this bigger picture of the Chicago art world.
Yeah.
Or at least the Chicago street art world or design and fashion world.
Do you feel like you have a better, not turnout, but just like because you had an event in LA. So what's the difference between having a show out there and having like a local show? Or do you feel like one is better than the other? Or?
I mean, no, it's the same. Like obviously here I might have way more homies and friends and people that know my work and have, like you said, you've seen my work forever. And I remember meeting, I meet people that be like 25 years old. They're like, yo, when I was in high school, I grew up on your work. And it's like, yo, that's crazy. It makes me feel old as hell. Like, damn, like, you grew up on my art. That's a crazy thing to think, considering like sometimes I feel like I just moved here not too long ago, you know. But you know, people really do grow up on my art out here. And
literally, you're a staple of the city. I feel like.
bro, it's insane. When I meet people that, like the other day I was at the park, this kid runs up to me, "Are you SENTROCK?" He literally ran up to me, and I was like, "Yo, what's bro on?" Like, part of me, my PTSD is like, "Yo, what's up with bro? Like, he's on, like, what's he trying to do?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, bro, you did a mural here at my old school and da da da." And like, I was like, "Oh man, that's love, bro." But you know, it's like, you know, people grow up seeing my work and it impacts them, and I think that's the difference. Is like when I do something in the city of Chicago, there's real love. Like there's real like people really been impacted by my work. Versus like in LA, people go to the show because the gallery or this is such and such
like
artist
or
like you know, which is cool, you know.
Have you had a show in Phoenix?
I've had honestly, but I don't know the last time I did like an actual art show in Phoenix.
Interesting. Do you feel like it's coming, or do you think you haven't really thought about it too much?
No, I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time. It's like, you know, I would love to, bro. I would love to, but I just can't find the right place, the right time, the right, you know, venue, all that stuff. And I think that's a partial like why I left, because it's like I don't like nothing out there challenges me too much. Like you have the museums, obviously. But as far as like galleries and platforms and
what's like life out there? I've never been to Phoenix, so I'm excited to go one day. But
bro, come out this winter. I'll be out there. I'm gonna do something this winter. Maybe not an art show, but I'm gonna do something this winter. Maybe like December or January. I'm gonna do something for all and it'll be specifically for my Chicago people to get out of the winter, come visit me. But life is interesting out there because, you know, it's a border state and it's one big city away from LA. So it's like that West Coast culture.
The food is probably fire.
The food is fire. And the neighborhood that I grew up on, West Phoenix, it's like you can go your entire day without seeing a white person, you know? Like it's an interesting environment. It's like very Mexican, like very Chicano too. You have third generation Mexicans that, you know, and so it's interesting in that way, but it's also very working class. Like very like there's not automotive, you know, like a mechanic shop, laundromat, corner store, and whatever else, you know, school. And it's like it's not too many, like you're not gonna see like a Pilsen, you're not gonna see a gallery, this, that, a clothing store, this, that, you know, there's not that much. It's like I wish there was more, unless you go like to the east side or downtown.
Interesting.
But the neighborhood I grew up, like, it's like school, work, and that's all there really is, you know. Even though there's a huge population, like a huge Latino population, there's just not, the culture isn't, at least the creative culture of our culture isn't, you know, represented that much.
But I feel like you could be the one to like bring that to them. So you have a
it's very stereotypical though. It's very like either very Mexican, like traditional, like the Virgen, or it's very Chicano lowriders, like.
And that's what you try to break away from.
And that's why I try to break away. I try to be like, yo, I can still be proud of who I am, and do and be as creative as possible, without having to be, you know, stuck in stereotypes. But you know, in a city like that, it's hard because, you know, you can get. I still get projects. I still do stuff here and there, but it's hard for the overall, you know, population to understand it.
Yeah.
Out here, there's so much history of artists that just get it. You know, like that road has been paved by so many artists that we're able just to, like I said, like Hebrew has raised the bar, or artists before him, Theaster Gates. So many people have raised the bar out here and done the hard work that we're able to kind of like just ride that lane. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's necessary for you to also like set the bar, or
try to do that for Phoenix?
Not for Phoenix, for younger artists.
Oh, for younger artists?
Yeah, because I know you have a couple.
Well, specifically like Latino artists that were like, you know, even Latino artists that are born here, like you know, because there's that feeling of like, all right, I was born here, this is my home, I'm Mexican or Colombian or Puerto Rican, but that's my roots. But it's like, how do I still be proud of what I am? But then how do I still allow myself to be as creative as possible? And I think with Latinos, we get put into a box. Like, we want you to create XYZ. We want you to be so overtly
Mexican or Hispanic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That you can't be like, because I've had so many people be like, oh, I didn't even know you were Mexican, you know, and it's like, well, yeah, I'm not like overtly, but this is still the story of a Latino artist. Like, this is still my story. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's important. I heard that on your David who?
Oh, David Ha, yeah.
Interview.
David
and
Ha,
I was like, yeah, because I'm over here thinking like, damn, I need to do more Colombian art.
Yeah, which is dope. You know what I mean? Because you want to do it.
But there's already people that do that, and if I'm gonna tell my story, I'm already Colombian. So whatever I do is gonna be a Colombian story.
It comes from that. It's rooted in that. Yeah.
So I learned a lot from you.
Well, even like you know, to tap in like Chicago creative, like Joe Freshgoods is like that too. He's like, at the end of the day, I'm a creative. Like, I don't want you to label me as a black creative. Like, I'm a black designer. Like, no, I'm a designer that is, you know.
So being Mexican, like in this creative Chicago city, like, how do you feel like like black people take you? Because I feel like in certain areas, like I'm like overlooked because I'm not black
or white.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Mexicans and just Hispanics in general, because they're going to label me Mexican, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a very gray area.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that? That might be too.
Personally, no. I think because I've just been so like, this is what I do. Yeah. Like it, love it, whoever, you know, but I feel like I got love from everybody.
That's fine. Yeah. So with your studio, have you had any challenges with it as far as like upkeeping, like keep
paying rent?
You're right, because like I had a studio up in Skokie for a while. We had it for 2 years, and I could only make it possible because I had like 5 other people helping me with it. Like, what are the challenges that come with like owning your own studio?
Yeah, I think that's one thing people don't realize is like, I'll do a ton of projects, and a lot of those projects, that money goes right back into like what allows me to keep doing those projects, you know, like
it pays for itself.
Yeah, essentially, like I have this platform on my studio and this space to do cool things, and it brings me work. But at the end of the day, you know, that's also taking a lot of resources and money and time, because you got to upkeep it. You got to be
the one cleaning after your events and
stuff. Every time, bro. I don't think people realize it would literally take me like a whole week just to like organize my studio sometimes.
Get it back to
because I could literally spend all day just trying to clean my studio, or I'll spend all day looking for a tape measure that I lost. I'm like, bro, where the hell is this tape measure? It's like stuff like that, bro. But I think, I mean, there's challenges, obviously, but I think that's part of the good challenges. You know,
it's like worth it.
Yeah, and then it's like, how do I utilize this platform that I have? Like right now, like you went to the last show or pop-up shop with La Marzocco and the coffee and the art and stuff like that. Like they're donating some money for me to do work and do stuff, and it's like, all right, it's just, how do you leverage your platform? How do you leverage what you have? To make it work for you, if that's what you want to do, you know. So like I have my personal studio is also a storefront on 18th Street. It's like, all right, I'm like, I could just get a regular art studio out of a warehouse and pay probably half of what I'm paying, but you know, I have that because half of the time I want the community to see me there. I want them to see like, oh, look at this artist who's living off of his art. Like, I want, you know how many times every day kid walks by my studio and looks in and like, oh my God, look at this, or that, you know, and it's like, it's a dope feeling, you know.
It's inspiring for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn. So do you ever feel like you would want to have one in Phoenix, or or like multiple locations? Have you thought about expanding?
I guess yeah, I would like to. I over romanticize what it means to be back in Phoenix. Like I think like, oh, let me open up this and the kids are gonna love it, and it's just a different culture, bro. Like I'll go over there and let's say if I open up something, you know, I don't think it would be received the same way. At least I don't know. Like I just feel like it takes a lot more groundwork for it to like work. Like I talk to homies that are out there that be doing amazing work, and they're like, how much groundwork they actually have to do to like make it work and do cool stuff out there sometimes.
Yeah, it's like comparable to probably like the suburbs here, you think?
I think so. I mean, Phoenix is what, like the 5th largest city in the US.
Oh, okay.
It's a large city, bro, but I think as far as, and there's a lot going on, but I think as far as the creative culture and the community, you know, I think it needs a lot more resources or a lot more growth. And in a lot of ways, it's still pretty much a conservative environment. Like Arizona's pretty conservative.
Yeah.
It's all typically it's always Republican like that. You know, like I think right now it's Democratic, but that's just the last like, you know, few years. Yeah.
Yeah, politics is some other shit. I feel like I don't really partake in too much of who's president right now.
I don't want to say I'm off politics, but it's hard to like stay engaged, man, honestly.
Yeah. So we have a question from Clue. Yes.
What does he want, bro?
When did it feel like you made it?
When did I feel like I made it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I feel like I made it. I don't know. That's such a subjective question of like what that even means to made it.
Right.
What do you think, bro? What do you think made it?
I mean,
means?
that Elmhurst exhibit probably like set the bar. I feel
like a museum show.
Yeah, only because I know Elmhurst to be like a white ass neighborhood.
Yeah,
and
I was like, damn, like they got SENTROCK in this bitch.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that was pretty. But I don't know everything that you've accomplished. You know, like
I think by the time you get to museums or by the time you get to certain stages, you've already been at a place where like, all right, I'm good. Like, I think when you feel like you made it is when you've created your own platform. You know what I mean? Like you could do at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want. So that's why the museums feel like, all right, let me partner with you because you've created your own platform. Because these museums, bro, like nobody's getting rich off museums. Like
it's more just to show people.
It's a cool legacy thing. You know, you might get a budget to do certain things, but yeah, you don't. You know, you make more money doing it direct to your customers. I get what you're saying, you know, but I think that's more of like once you created such a stamp on your community or culture, and then they want to work with you. But yeah, I think that was a good moment. I think more so just knowing that if none of these museums or gallery wanted to work with me, and I would still be able to pay my rent. I think that's when I feel like, all right, I made it. Like I can do something, and people are drawn to what I do, outside of like that cosign of like museums and galleries. I think that's when I feel like I made it.
So pretty much like when you were able to live off your own art.
Yeah, and when I know I don't have to like live month to month, you know, like all right, I did this show, I did this project, I can pay my rent for the next 3-4 months.
And when was that? Like, if you wanted to get into it, or like, what was your last like job working for like another?
My last job, honestly, I don't know. My last job, it's been a while, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So you've been,
and it's not like I've been
made
like
it for a long.
I haven't made it. I've been just like, you know, like living off of whatever I can for so long.
But in your head, it's like,
but I think
it's better than getting a check.
Yeah, for sure. But I think maybe right before the pandemic, so what was that, like 2020?
Yeah,
is when I like really started hitting a stride of like, all right, like, because then once you don't have to worry about next month's rent or the following month, you're like, oh damn, I have some room I could play with. So then that's, you know, it's like you're able to like take that money and invest it, and then you can flip that, and then you can double that. Like you can, you know, like, all right, let me then invest in some product, or let me invest in 20 canvases that I'm gonna work on and spend the whole month just sitting here working on these canvases that I can then sell and then do XYZ. And then you just, then that's when you feel like, oh, I made it. Like, I don't have to, work one job to the next. You can take your time and invest it. Yeah.
I spent so much time trying to figure out how to like keep up with the kid and like the health insurance stuff and trying to have health insurance for my family and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I need a job.
Do you have a job right now?
I do. So I work as a graphic designer. So it's like adjacent with what I'm trying to do. And I'm learning so much.
Sometimes I feel like that's worse.
You feel like it's worse having a job?
Because you're putting so much, a job that is utilizing your creativity.
Interesting. Why? Oh,
like maybe. Sometimes I feel like if I were to have a job right now, I would rather work at like a Trader Joe's or like something that doesn't take from my creativity at all. So once I'm off that, I'm like, all right, straight to my
shit. We'll see, because I've been here for roughly 6 months, and I think it's taught me so much that it's expanded what I'm capable of. So like I used to think like my end goal was getting a storefront, and now I'm like, that's not even, because you got to make it a successful storefront, and then like you could expand it and you could get multiple locations, and that's not even the half of it either. But I was very naive with my dreams. Like I could have dreamed bigger, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that's what this job has taught me. So
that's dope. Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a job, but I also feel like I've learned early on there's work and there's where there's times where you're creating, there's times where you're working. So I feel like you're working, but you're also like learning.
Yeah,
it's
almost
exactly. Like an internship.
I feel like I'm getting paid to learn things that I've always wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And the job itself is very flexible. Like I could work from home. Yeah. And it's very convenient for me to have with my kids and stuff.
That's dope, man.
But the end goal would be to get out of that, because I do want to be self-employed. And that's what I'm learning. Like it's just the business of like middlemen. Yeah. It's just like,
oh, bro, that's where all the money's at, the middleman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ramiro asked, who's the downest fool in Chicago?
The downest fool in Chicago?
I guess like even just taking that, like who are like some of your biggest inspirations, I guess, or people that you like look up to in Chicago?
Shout out Chris Silva. He's an old school artist. I feel like he was one of the first dudes, and I don't want to say like he's old now, because he's probably only like 5 years older than me or whatever. But I remember when I was still living in Phoenix, I Googled, there was back in the day, it was all blogs and websites. There wasn't social media really, like when I was in high school. So I remember looking at this blog, and the name that came up was Chris Silva. And I was like, oh, that's my homie from back in the day. Maybe he made it as an artist. Like, and I clicked on it, and it was Chris Silva out here. And he was one of the first dudes that I saw take like graffiti and what is called like street art today, like that, like graffiti style characters and letters, and I feel like he really defined street art out here. His name is Chris Silva, and he graffiti writer too. I forget what he used to write, but I think like Jace maybe. And I remember in Phoenix seeing his work, and I think that era of artists was the first, like they would go around like screwing like wood to like sculptures and like just random, like I felt like that was like what I liked about street art. And I think like him, like that era of like graffiti writers and street artists is what inspired a lot of us and like me today.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, nah, dude's an OG. He's a legend, bro. Like he's one of these dudes, like if you know him, then you know like, oh damn, this dude really did a lot of like dope stuff, yeah.
I feel like from watching your interviews, you're very knowledgeable about your history.
Yeah.
The art from Chicago. I feel like I need to do more research.
On Chicago?
Yeah, or just...
Well, I feel like, it's like, a lot of probably about like New York or like, and I feel like growing up in Phoenix, like LA, New York, Chicago is like the bigger cities, and it's like, you learn, you fantasize like LA, oh my God, like Saber and like old school graffiti writers. And New York, you think about like Dondi and like the original graffiti writers and breakdancers. And then like Chicago too, there's like all the writers out here and the breakdancers that I looked up to. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I just looked up to like Kaz and like.
See, because like I feel like you're a whole generation younger than me.
A little younger.
Yeah.
You're like 36?
I'm
34?
37.
37? Yeah, so I'm 28.
Yeah.
So
See, that's a whole decade, bro, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think I'm like young 30s,
You
late
look
20s.
young.
I get that all the time, and I'm like, bro, I'm almost 40 years
You're
old.
youthful.
Like, yeah.
No, that's good.
I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, bro. I've been through it.
But yeah, we brought up Clue and Ramiro on this pod. I feel like they're damn near like not like your mentees, but like you do help them out a lot.
Yeah,
right?
for
It's
sure.
like they're in the studio a lot.
Yeah, they're always around. They help me. I help them.
Come on the pod.
Yeah, they need to come on the pod. I love hearing stories from like young up and coming creatives, you know, and like how they're figuring it out, you know. But yeah, for sure, Clue, because he was in my class when I was teaching at Yolo Cali in Little Village. He was one of my students, and then as he graduated, I'm like, yo, come around the studio, come help me do murals or come help me whatever, like an intern, you know, basically. And then, but the way that I view it is like, if you're gonna come intern, then I'm also gonna like invest in you and want to see you grow, like not just come help me, all right, you know, whatever. It's like, nah, like we're gonna like, you know, live this life together, like on some real stuff, not just like through a program or nothing. Like
in the trenches.
Like, yeah, because I feel like that's how, like when I was a youngster, those are the people that influenced me the most. Like the old school graffiti writers or the old school dudes in the neighborhood. Like it wasn't through no program, you know, through like real life.
It's cool that you could be that for him and like for just like a younger generation.
Yeah, that's for anybody, you know, and that's why the last show I did, it was like all, for the most part, up and coming artists, and it was like sometimes I don't feel like I have the biggest platform, but it's like whatever I do have, if I could share it, like I will.
I think that's important. There was a case where like you know, like George Lopez and Ralph Bento.
Yeah.
They were talking about how George Lopez was very like standoffish when it came to like
you know, all right, so I'll take the position of the old head. I think it goes both ways, bro. At the end of the day, Ralph was probably, you know, just talking shit about a dude that he feels like is too far detached, and I think George is like, probably, I've heard a lot of stories about George, so I can't advocate for him because I feel like that probably is true. He probably doesn't like really like isn't trying to invest. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day too, though, like Ralph, he's not entitled to like anybody helping him out. You know, like young up and coming artists, like yo, like nobody's entitled. Like you're not entitled to like people loving your art just because you put out a painting. You know, and I think that's a big thing with this generation is we feel, or younger artists feel like the entitlement of like, because just because you created art, like every gallery should show you, or like everybody should just like your work. Like I feel like sometimes I get a lot of hate of people like, oh, why do you like his work versus mine? It's like, bro, like you gotta make it to where people want to like it, you know? Like, but I feel like Ralph is doing dope and George is doing dope, so there's, you know, there's really no beef because it's like they're both doing good right now.
I just seen him on the Blue Beetle. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, nah.
It's pretty good.
Ralph or George?
George.
Oh,
yeah, he's like the uncle in the movie.
Yeah, dude's, you know, he's been around forever, man. Yeah. Any more questions?
We actually got one more.
Let's see.
What's a toy you would bring back from your childhood? That's from
toy?
Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin who?
He was just here. The guy who does the podcast before.
Oh, word? Yeah. A toy that I bring from my childhood.
Do you have one?
The only toys that I really remember playing with, and they weren't really even mine, they were my cousins, were just the original like Ninja Turtles.
Oh, crazy.
Like, bro, though, because they had everything and everything was so sick. Like, I feel like toys nowadays aren't as dope as they used to be.
My answer is going to be very similar because I had a Transformers that was, I don't know, more intricate than the Transformers that I got my son. Just like, they had everything. Yeah, like they had more things.
Well, back then, not now everything's digitally sculpted, you know? But back then, they would actually have like a clay master like sculpted and they would have to make it the old school way.
Crazy.
You know, now everything's done so easily.
3D printing.
Yeah, think about like the original, I don't know if you know, but like the original X-Men, like those old cartoons, they would have to sit there and draw it. Now it's all like done like, you know, digitally.
Yeah, I've thought about that because they do. They sell those prints. They sell like the original. I forgot what they're called. For like anything though, Disney, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power.
And it was just they just invested way more time. That's in anything nowadays, you know.
How do you feel about that though? Like, do you want to move forward with the times? Like, are you doing virtual reality art or not?
Virtual reality art? What does that even mean?
Like with the 3D sculpt. Like, I mean, I do it. I've done the Oculus and like the sculpting on there and shit. And that shit's fun. Yeah. It's like fun.
I think you have to, bro. For better, for worse, you have to keep
up with the.
Because I think about like hip hop, like or rap, like people talking about like old school, like I want bars and that old school boom bap or whatever, which is cool. Like lyrics and 16 bars of like entendres on top of triple entendres, which is dope. I like that too. But sometimes you also just want some like Chief Keef, like raw energy that makes you feel good, you know. And I view that as like art too. Like art, sometimes there's times where you want that super technical, amazing, like damn, like that technique is crazy. And sometimes you just want to see somebody who just put their raw emotion on a canvas, you know, like it's like, yeah, think about like Leonardo da Vinci, and then you said you grew up on Cause or maybe like for me Keith Haring, or people that you resonate with, who you resonate with, you know, whatever it might be. And people might be like, oh, that's not as super technical as this or that, but you know, you resonated for whatever reason. You liked it.
You got some questions or no?
I mean, let me see. I do. Let's see. Bronx Tale or Goodfellas? That's a good one. I mean, I'm gonna say Goodfellas. I don't know. It's hard to say, but today at this moment, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is with the kid who, and then the dad didn't. He was a bus driver.
Yeah, that was Bronx Tale.
That was Bronx Tale?
That was Bronx Tale.
Damn. So which one's
kid,
Goodfellas?
He grew up. He grew up. His dad was a bus driver. That was Bronx Tale. Robert De Niro was his dad. Yeah.
Legendary.
And then Jacob Poe said, "Why you look like that?" I think that was geared towards you.
Towards me? Why did you take a picture of me?
Yeah.
Damn. Jacob's a funny guy, man. So he did a lot of your woodworking stuff, right? You did the cart and stuff.
Yeah.
Jacob's actually the first podcast that I ever been on. Like,
oh, word?
When he had a late night dive.
Oh, he never told me he had a podcast.
That shit was like only 3 episodes. Like,
dude, see,
so do you feel like you're gonna bring it back?
That's a rookie talking like a vet.
Who, me?
Jacob.
Oh, wow.
He wants to talk like he's a vet. He's a rookie, bro.
Jacob's a funny guy. He's super busy. He's pretty big.
Yeah, nah, he's doing dope things.
Come on the pod, Jacob.
Yeah, so what was the last great meal you had?
Meal,
yeah.
Damn. My girl made me some shrimp scampi.
Shrimp scampi?
Yeah, at home. That was really good.
I don't know what scampi is, but I like shrimp.
It's like the really thin noodles with the.
I do like scampi.
It's like a little lemon.
Italian food, right?
Lemon pepper. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Italian food. My favorite restaurant is Via Carducci's on Division Street.
Damn,
the best. Bro, that's the best.
Italian food?
Yeah, okay. I love Italian food.
That's a good question.
Anything else? Any controversies? Any haters?
I don't think so. If we have haters, they're not making enough noise. I can't.
Nah. The thing with haters out here is like 1 minute they hate on you, you see them in public, y'all shaking hands and y'all friends.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, anytime I've had issues, we just need to like see each other and
just say hi.
Yeah,
literally, like all you have to do is shake up with someone, and then that bridge isn't burned.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're all creatives, we're all artists, we're all just trying to be like, and we're all sensitive. Like, you know, artists are sensitive, bro. Yeah. Like we make art for a living. Like
we're sensitive.
Yeah, like bro, you sit there and just like paint. Like relax, bro.
All right, the last thing my girl asked, do you have a mantra? And Clue asked if you have a philosophy, so it's kind of similar. Do you have any like words that you
a mantra or philosophy? I don't know, bro. What about you? You asked. You answer.
The only one that I could think of is like, I'm not better than anyone, but no one's better than me. I feel like, yeah, we're always comparing each other.
Yeah.
It's like imposter syndrome's like hand in hand. It's like,
right.
I think we don't, like, we earn this, like, what? But then it goes, like, my ego and my humbleness always fight each other. So it's like, then you said, like, yeah, like, we can't be entitled to to shit. So
yeah, you can't be entitled, but I think it's good to have a little bit of ego.
A little bit.
Yeah, every artist has to have a little bit of ego, because that's, if you have no ego, I'm not advocating ego, but I'm advocating to have, as an artist, to have a little bit of like chip on your shoulder of like
a little drive.
Yeah, because whether we like it or not, that's what pushes us. That's what wants us to be better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
But right. I don't know. I need to find a mantra. If y'all DM me any mantras y'all have,
let's go.
I'm trying to. I will say that I do therapy now, and I've been learning a lot from her and shout out my therapist, of like just things that, like, everyday life things that I've never like acknowledged before, of like, you deserve more time to yourself, you deserve more love, like what else, you're in control, you have free will, like things that I think people that come from like past traumas, we feel like we're just subject to our environment.
That's a mantra in itself. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That.
Yeah,
reminding yourself like that you can control your life.
I'm in control. You know what I mean? Even if we're not, it's like, all right, let me center myself. Like, all right, I'm in control of the situation. Like, I have free will. I deserve more patience in this moment. I deserve more love in this moment. I deserve more grace for myself in this moment. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's wrap things up.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who
made stayed
it this
long.
far. Yeah. I don't even know how long we record, like an hour?
At least, yeah. At least like an hour and 20.
Shout out to them. Are you gonna chop it down and make it like 30 minutes?
Definitely. I'm gonna cut a few.
Yeah.
But where can people find you? What's your IG? Shout out your
2059 West 18th Street. You can find me.
Yeah.
I'm ready for all the smoke.
Come through. SENTROCK Studios.
Or just IG SENTROCK.
Do you have anything you're selling at the moment? I know you got some pins on.
Well, when's this come out? When do you like? How long is your turnaround time?
I'll probably route it this by next week.
So next week. Next week. What?
You just did your Bulls installation.
The Bulls thing. We're getting ready to drop a plush figure.
Fire.
So hopefully that'll come out by next week or maybe the following week. Other than that, no, I'm always doing stuff. And then I'm going to do another coffee pop-up at my studio. I'm painting a mural on my studio building. And I'm going to reveal it like September 30th.
Let's go.
And then, just staying busy, doing art.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out, raising my son, riding my bike around.
Just enjoying life.
Yeah, I'm really trying to chill this year.
I love that. Yeah, same here. I need to focus on what's important, family time, and get back to it. But I do have some stuff online, pauseprints.com, shorts, shirts. I got some socks on the way.
Oh, nice, bro. What kind of socks?
Just very high quality.
High quality socks?
Yeah.
You dropped some like shorts, right?
Yeah, some of my shorts.
Yeah, those are dope.
Thank you, bro. I've been working with like overseas manufacturers and just doing all right. Because I used to do all my stuff locally, but now I'm trying to order in bulk,
like
and then
cut and sew stuff.
Cut and sew, yeah. So dealing with like the back and forth with that, sampling and all that.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna start my podcast up again.
Come on, season 3.
And then I gotta have you,
please,
you on it.
Yeah, I'll promote my gear.
Yeah. Because I felt like there was a lot of things I wanted to ask you, but it's like we'll be 3 hours in. Yeah.
Yeah. Next time I want you to come back. We'll have more. We'll have Jacob, Griff. Come on, let's just all have
we'll bring everybody.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, guys, take it easy. Have a good one. All right. Stay fly.
Yeah, stay fly. Thank you, bro, for having me.